Good morning, and thank you so much for invitation to this symposium in Thailand. That is my 6th trip in Thailand, and every time I learn so much from this beautiful country. And it was so impressive to learn this parent and remote school connection. I think that it's great opportunity to provide educational services to everybody. And that is something which is very much also in Finland, that how we can promote equal opportunities and how we can be sure that everybody could maximize their potential. In Finland, we have the main principle for all educational level that everybody should have opportunity to learn and learn so much as they ever can. In a small country like Finland, that is so important that everybody's potential can be used and maximized. We have a long history in distance learning. When I was 5 years old, my father, who is now 92 years old, he used distance learning in his life using letters, having letters and making assignments and returning these letters and having then certification of basic education. Now there are so new technologies everywhere. You can use, as we had heard, satellite TV, mobiles, tablets, computers, everywhere. And I think that these new tools also changes very much distance learning. So that means also that formal educational settings and informal settings are coming more and more close together. We have new tools, we have new learning environments, and we also have new opportunities to be involved, being also knowledge creators in those new environments. So that means that when speaking about distance learning, there are also many new kinds of opportunities. And we have heard in this morning wonderful opportunities. So what is new learning environments? It's very much providing new materials, also new services for learning and teaching, but also providing interactive and sharing environments. So in Finland we speak about boundless classroom, which means that it connects formal and informal learning environments. So it means that there are opportunities to connect also different types of learning opportunities outside the school and inside the school, connecting the neighborhood, connecting the society around. In Finland, we made surveys around 3 years ago, and we realized that every day at least 61% of girls and 70% of boys are watching videos at YouTube or in some other video productions. But anyway, videos are very typical in their life. So I think that videos are also in schools very typical, but in which way we can use videos, there are many different kind of pedagogical opportunities. So in Finland we have distance learning. We call that also online learning. It can happen inside the school or outside the school, but it can also be used in adult learning and work-based learning. And I think that one typical issue is that distance learning can be provided at different levels of educational system. So, basic education, which means in our case 9-year education, elementary and lower secondary level. There are several courses, learning materials, support and counseling, both for students and teachers. And online learning, which means that individuals can learn that using those new technological devices, but also we use very often the term blended learning, which means that there are online learning, partly there are face-to-face learning, and there are teachers and facilitators involved. These are mainly free of charge, available everywhere, also at high school level and university level, or very low fees. And these are organized by educational institutions. Then for adults, there are a lot of work life and in-service training which has been organized by employers or training centers. So we want to cover all lifelong learning paths and also provide opportunities if someone has failed at certain level of education, that they would always have a new start and continue their education. So we have distance learning, which can be very different kinds of opportunities, and their students or teachers can have educational services. But in schools there are many kinds of video using, even interactive net meetings at schools with other schools, nationally or internationally, so that there are this interactive nature that students can ask, give their comments, and that means that they are involved in that sense also internationally. Certainly in schools there are also devices so that students can use digital resources for their individual working, or they can do that also in groups, but anyway, resources available through new technology. And these resources are for different levels. When we are speaking about basic education, in Finland that covers almost 100% of young students complete in their local schools that educational level. But if someone fails, it can happen for different reasons. They have courses online, they have support for completing their basic education, and then they can continue after that education to the secondary level. Special issue nowadays is that if student must be a long time away from school because of sickness, technology can connect him or her to the normal classroom. They can follow instruction, they can be part of class community, and they need direct or only computer and cameras and some browser, web browser that they are connected. So especially that is important in those cases if you must be very sure don't get any infections and you must stay at home. And that is, for example, if some pupil have serious sickness like a cancer, and they can be connected with technology to their normal classroom, and they can be interactively with their mates and certainly teachers and make their normal schoolwork through digital technology. At high school, which means that they are normally 15, 18 years old, some students don't complete high school, or they make later on decision that I would like complete high school studies. And then they have huge opportunities because there are at distance learning platforms more than 260 courses that they can take part distance learning at high school and complete their degree. You will find there a white hat that is graduation hat for high school students, and that kind of services are now available at any age, but normally that is used by adult people who have not completed their secondary education. We also have distance learning for vocational education, online courses, and blended learning, where are also tutors and facilitators, and they can be also in workplace and have their online learning. That means that there are different ways to get also vocational certification through distance learning. Open University provides for everyone opportunity to continue their education at university or higher education level. That can happen certainly in Open University as contact learning, where are traditionally, like it has always been since 70s, small groups, independent activities, lectures, but also online studies, and there can be courses and assignments, and that is then given some certification of those courses or modules for higher education degree. Universities provide degrees, but Open University studies give modules for those degrees. Blended learning is a very typical way that combines contact and online studies. Here you can see at the University of Helsinki, the age range in Open University. I think that is very typical. And you can find that there are different ages. 1/4 are young people, but then there are also middle-aged people, and then there are also elderly people. You can see 50 plus, there are about more than 10% of Open University students from that group. In Open University, there can be also even 7 years old if they are very interested to have some interesting topics. So it's very flexible system. We have national broadcasting company, ULE, and that is providing a lot of resources for Finnish students and teachers. There are hundreds of language courses which can be followed independently or in classrooms. There are subject matter materials for almost each subject matter ever taught in schools at different levels, and also there are many opportunities for networking students and networking teachers. There are a lot of resources, documentary resources, what can be used in schools. New service is how to make news and learn from documents. And there are nowadays Finnish new broadcasting platform where 15 to 25-year young students can create contents, our national broadcasting, and then there is young creators board that then select the best for national providing and publishing them. And they will have a little microfunding for that work, but that is very much also encouraging people, young people, to seek information, but also create in new products based on these information available in internet or wherever they find something they want to make published also for a larger audience. For teachers, we have National Teacher TV. There are huge amount of resources, materials for different subject matters, for videos, games, document programs, and certainly all these different kinds of programs what are produced by this company, they are available to schools and teachers can use them. So how then teachers' professional learning can also supported? National Board of Education provides also web-based materials for all levels of education, subject matter issues, pedagogical support, and also certainly what happens in educational sector as news and topical issues. Now we are in the middle of national core curriculum reform, and there are a lot of support material for teachers and local schools because they implement this core curriculum at local level, making their own implementation of national curriculum for local detailed, and that start this local implementation 2016. Teachers have many online forums. There are teacher training school e-network where teacher trainers can share their ideas. There are teachers' own social media groups, tens of sharing platforms and support groups. Teachers in service training are very much based on blended learning system, that there are Moodle or other electronic platform, and there are partly online, partly facilitated learning. EduCloud services means that our Ministry of Education are maintaining services for local schools. That can happen also by companies, but anyway, they are digital resources for local schools. So the most important issue is what is the pedagogy for distance learning? I think that not only putting something available is not enough, putting some devices or providing devices like tablets in schools is not enough. We need very much teachers' positive attitude, and we have some surveys. We can find that yes, teachers have positive attitude using digital and distance learning. They can use variety of different technologies, emails, virtual learning environments, videos, conferences, textbooks, web-based open source materials. I think that there are huge variety nowadays. The very important is sharing and interaction. I think that that is the clue and the core also in distance learning. Certainly distribution of materials and sharing them, but how to get sharing environment in distance learning, that is challenge and is needed. So I think that challenges in distance learning is that there can be dropouts and dropout rates. How we can keep up motivation. It was wonderful to see in those parent and remote school in Thailand how the students were motivated. I think that in most cases in distance learning we need self-regulation if you are working very much alone. And for example, time management and learning to learn skills, how you are doing these learning tasks. So social isolation is something what we have overcome, that they are connected, and social media provides a lot of opportunities for that. Sometimes there are technical problems, but I think that technical problems are easier to overcome than this social nature of teaching and learning. So what is needed? I think that support for students in online environments. From our experience, tutoring and web-based discussions are very important, that there is social element of learning. We need also study counseling in web-based learning and distance learning, and students need new kinds of learning and study skills. Also, teachers need new kinds of pedagogy to facilitate students to use new kind of study skills where they are active learners, active knowledge creators. And sense of learning community, being part of some community where they are learning together. So we need teachers' pedagogical knowledge and skills that support learners. And I have summarized here what are the most important three aspects what we need in distance learning. Some are pedagogical, like tutoring, to reflect, to be reflective and critical thinker in learning environments. Some are supporting collaboration, coaching of learning skills. These are pedagogical. Then there are technical issues, how is infrastructure structured, how devices and software are working together, and who are maintaining these. But then there are also informational issues, administrative issues, how organize these studies, what are resources, where different partners can find resources and how information services have organized. So I think that distance learning gives a lot of opportunities for equity and equal opportunities, but we need all these three levels issues to be managed. And I think that what distance learning can give, learning for everyone, and I think that that is the message I can see as a very important for Thailand, but also internationally. Thank you so much.